Bands over soup with Ryan and Portico and Sully Smith.
We're enjoying some potato leek soup today.
All right, so I guess
with Parotia.
Hello.
From Blacksburg.
this is our first You guys are our first out of town.
That's right.
band.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Although
Have you guys done any shows in Roanoke yet? Or
We're about to.
Yeah, we're about to do our first show this weekend in Roanoke
Okay.
at Flying Panther Skate Shop.
Okay.
Well, we've had shows in Salem.
Yeah.
It's, right, that's pretty much it.
Flying Panthers will have.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a Halloween show. It's gonna be
Yeah, so that's Saturday. We all have costumes planned out and stuff.
And then the next weekend we're playing at the spot on Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next weekend, right?
Yeah, November 5th.
5th.
Yeah, the 5th.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very
It's our first time playing there.
So momentum's kind of building a little bit.
A little bit.
Is this the first out-of-town show for you guys? Or, I mean, no, because you're just saying you played in Salem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Salem. We played in Ivanhoe for a music festival. We had a crowd of two people.
Yeah, we were the opening band on the second day, so there were a lot of people there, but
They were still
weren't
sleeping
awake
and
yet.
They were like
Yeah.
waking up with their bongs and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What hey, somebody had to play 2 a.m. at Woodstock.
Fair enough.
By that point, people were still up.
Yeah.
Experience.
So you guys have been together for...
How? Yeah. Oh.
And the band has been through a lot of lineup changes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I know. Let the village elder tell the story.
I was gonna say it's like let's get the history of it.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get a slurp real quick.
There'll be a lot of slurping to edit here.
Oh yeah. So Parotia began way back in about I would say 2019. With a very different group of people, but the person who was kind of one that brought it all together was our old drummer named David, and he had like 7 of us all doing just like practices in his old apartment, and then that was right before COVID hit. It was about early 2020, and then once COVID hit, a lot of people had to either leave the band or go back home, or and so for a little bit there was just a couple of us. There was 4 of us, and then basically through the summer we were like, okay, I mean, we're gonna like hang out and not really do anything, but maybe we can like try to find a new bassist, and we can try to reshape something for the fall semester because we're all in college. And then by fall of 2020, Parotia had our first show with the lineup of myself on vocals, Mason Honor on rhythm guitar, David Rivas Rios on drums, Michael Zumba on lead guitar, and then Will Green on the bass. And that was what we call like chapter 2, because chapter 1 was like the old group that never like did any shows. And then from there we, people are like too busy, or there's like the obvious band conflict that always comes up at some point. And people graduating, moving away, and so now we are on what we call chapter 5. So it's been through a bunch
So
of
3 years and there's already been 5 chapters. It's an eventful book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just skipped chapter 3 and 4. You just went to 5.
Yeah, we had 3 and 4. They really only lasted like 6 months.
And also there weren't too many lineup changes like those time periods, like chapter 3 and 4. It was mostly like one person leaving and another one. So it wasn't that dramatic with this but right now it's like the most dramatic change
from the original.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say your sound has changed? Like
A lot.
100%.
A lot.
Yeah.
I like to think I had something to do with that.
The drums can change the dynamic.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
It worked out. I'm the second drummer. So David Rivas Rios is the first drummer, and he's a really talented musician, very good at just writing the songs. He did a lot of the songwriting, right? He did a lot of the songwriting, he played the drums, and he was just kind of like the background behind the scenes, not doing everything, but doing a lot. and he was a softer drummer. Like he's very, you know, chill and does the right thing at the right time. Super good, got great chops. And then I started going to Parotia shows, and I ended up jamming with like David and Mason, the first guitarist. And then one day Mason goes like, "Hey, you know, I know you're a drummer and we're looking for a drummer next year." And I was like, "Great." And then I joined, and then I was like, "Hey guys, I play really hard rock and roll music. I play like punk rock. I listen to Travis Barker and Dave Grohl." And Kara was like, "That's great. That's where we want to go." So I was like, "That's perfect." So that's how it wasn't like a bad change. It's kind of everybody went along with it.
It was natural, yeah.
Yeah, and there's still that old sound, like that sound from the first chapter, that sort of like soft indie stuff. But now it's, you know,
We also have a much heavier, like just mean sort of kind of sound too.
Yeah, you gotta keep up with the drums, you know. You gotta,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I was, you've only, well, I want to look you guys up. The only thing I saw the Apocalypse Jam.
Woo! Yeah.
2021.
And then, the live EP, or EP, I guess it's an album, but the live album that you guys did, it sounded, for being live, it sounded really good. Like I was
Does
impressed.
sound good, yeah.
Yeah.
So that
That was chapter 1.
Yeah, the only person, two. The only
Two.
person from that portion that's still in it is Kiara. So that's kind of an example. So that's where they started, and it's like the music, like Jimmy was saying, it's gotten heavier and more kind of bangy.
Yeah.
Still got a taste of that first album.
Yeah,
though,
it's
but
still Parotia.
Yeah, like there's a song from that album that I wrote that we still do like now, but it definitely has a different sound to it, and we're in the process of like re-recording it so we can re-release it with all of our other originals that we do. Yeah.
Well, so I guess since you've had so many lineup changes, who would you say your influences are?
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, that varies from individual.
I was gonna say
It's a big melting
I think
pot.
we could all like name like 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because we all like contribute to the writing, which is something that I've really enjoyed compared to what Parotia kind of used to be. Because we didn't really have a lot of original songs, but now everyone adds like a little mix into whatever song we're working on.
That makes writing hard.
That makes it really good.
But when we do like intersect and like get on the same page, it's really special.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kiara, well, I got started. So just like musical influences. Yeah. So I love the 90s. I'm big into like the grunge and like early 2000s punk era. So like Blink-182.
Yeah, you're the same trend as
Nirvana. Yeah, Nirvana. Big Foo Fighters kick recently. That kind of stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, kind of similar to that. Like
I see you have a Lamb of God. Sure.
So I'm a metalhead, but not exclusively. So I like Mark Hoppus from Blink. I like his stuff a lot. But then like Les Claypool, I get a lot of inspiration from him, and Flea, obviously, because Mark bassist doesn't like Flea.
I mean,
And then like Megadeth's old bassist.
Oh, Megadeth, yeah.
Megadeth is really good.
Yeah, he's insane. That's I don't really try to write stuff like that. That's more of just like I want to get my skill level to that point where I could be able to play this kind of music.
Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I really love like My Chemical Romance. I just saw them back in August and it was life changing.
Yeah, they're back around again.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing shows.
So good. Motion City Soundtrack is another one. They're like kind of like 2000s-ish, like pop punk, but also like kind of synthesizer-y, like really, really fun. And I also last year got really into ABBA. And I just love like their harmonies. I love just the like god tier like elegance that they have. They're just so,
Yeah.
they're just so up there.
There's
God tier.
there's a
they're just
God
so
level.
beautiful, and they're like all of the they just from their outfits to their music, yeah, really iconic.
Right.
it's nice 70s pop.
Yeah,
With rich vocal
Yeah.
harmonies and layers going on. Sweet.
Yeah, no, it's they're talented, even though it's pop music. They're talented.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it.
because there's just so much going on. Even like their older albums were just so, I don't know, just so fun and like just so easy to listen to. I guess that's what pop can be, but then like, I don't know, just really defining in the late 70s and 80s. Except for their last album and like whatever in the 80s, that wasn't good. But now they're doing virtual tours like as holograms, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's
Just talking shit about that on the podcast now.
There's like a few good songs on it.
They just had a new album, I think, right? Yeah, it's a couple of years ago, maybe. I don't know. I haven't listened to it. But
Last year I think
Yeah.
it came out around December. Yeah,
nice.
super good.
it was a virtual album, but still.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, what, 70? I don't blame them. I mean, would I love to be doing this at 70?
I didn't know they were that old.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
Yeah.
thought there were like two married couples, but I believe.
And now divorced.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that would be. I could see why it's. I really don't want to work with this person. But
Yeah.
At the same time, they're 70, so
Yeah.
money.
And also, being such an iconic band, like,
Yeah.
why not release music when you've got that level of fame?
Oh, it's-
Yeah.
People are gonna listen to it.
It's the Fleetwood Mac. Yeah.
They've aged well. Like now, people respect them more. I think. Along with
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac is another one of those bands.
Fleetwood. Yeah. Well, there's an endless fascination with Fleetwood Mac, but so. You emailed us the songs on the like today, and me and Ryan were listening to. I was really impressed with the harmonies on the
CCW.
CCW.
Counterclockwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those harmonies are really good.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
I'm always I struggle with them. Like it's
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, well, especially with myself. But then I think we do fairly decently.
Yeah,
But,
we're starting. We're working on it.
We're working
Yeah.
on it. Yes, but no, that was, and then the, I wanted to say strawberry pie.
Cherry limeade.
Cherry limeade.
Yeah.
That's not even-
Strawberry pie is, that's cool too.
I mean,
Same essence.
but, with,
So- no, you go ahead because you were already going.
good stuff all around.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
So we were talking about chapters. So is the last thing that we can hear, like when we go to look up Parotia, is that from chapter 2, or is there something more recent, or will there be soon?
Yeah,
soon.
we are
Yeah,
like
we'll soon.
in the process of getting everyone's like tracks down and about to send it off to a friend to do all the mixing and mastering and all that wizardry.
Nice.
And
We're so close.
we're so close.
Now, are you
Very excited.
recording it yourself, or in a studio, or
Yeah, we went to somewhere in Roanoke to record the drums. Clean Studios, spelled Klean, and
does he have dreads?
yes,
Yes.
Maxwell.
Yeah, Maxwell.
Yeah, he was really,
yes.
really cool.
Yeah, Max.
I've talked to Max. I have talked. Yes.
Yeah.
That guy.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of it. So we went to drums are so hard to record.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Yep. It
And
is.
so we try to go as cheap as possible and DIY as possible. And with drums, we just can't do that. So we, went to him, and he's, doesn't charge that much for recording. So we went to him for drums, and then we recorded some bass and guitar there because we had time. We bought the hour, and
Yeah.
we were good. And then the rest of it, a lot of the guitar and vocals and stuff, Kiara, you're doing.
You could almost.
Doing a lot of guitar, playing a lot of guitar on.
Yeah, sorry, I was really into the soup while
No,
we were
hey.
talking about recording. I wasn't there on recording day, so.
No, yeah.
Now we're at the point where we all, so our other two current members, Kyle Erickson, rhythm guitar, and Gage Amesquita, they will be doing their own guitar parts, on their own interfaces, because we all have, a Scarlett or something.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully at that point, we can just push it all together and...
Yeah, it's really close right now.
Yeah.
I have deadlines and stuff, but it's really coming together. And so I'm excited because when it comes out, it'll be on Spotify, and you can listen to that live album and kind of listen to where we're at now, and that will really show like the progression that the band.
When did you record the live? When was the live album recorded?
Sure, so that was in the spring of 2021. It was a Virginia Tech, the school we all go or went to, does this like concert at the end of the year called Soundfest. And the one for 2020 was canceled because of COVID, but this was the first one back, but it was like a virtual concert. So that's why we were all like recorded, is because they were live streaming us, and they had the ability to like do all our sound like through their system and then like upload it and live stream it. So we have a nice little recording from that. We got to play with another local band called Cactus Club. We opened for Snail Mail, which was really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had a little band like FaceTime with her afterwards too, because most of the time for the Soundfest, you get to like meet the opening or the main act as the opening band. So we just got a Zoom call, but whatever. In a virtual world.
I'm so jealous. I wasn't in the band, and they talked to Snail Mail, and I wish I was in the band when they did that.
It was cool.
I quite like. Actually, their second album's really good. I like their first album. The second album's more synth-based. Yeah, but anyways, I can go off that. That's really cool. So your old drummer wrote most of your songs?
Maybe that wasn't a fair thing to say. He was definitely more involved in that process than I am now.
Okay.
Yeah, but he had, we had a bunch of songs that like he had, but some of them never even came to like fruition as a band. But one of our songs on the old EP is called like Big D, like that was his original. But then for another song, I-64, which is one that I wrote, I literally just had the like lyrical melody line, and I brought that to Mason and David, and I said, help me make this a song. So they figured out all the chords and like what the song structure would be. But I think now we do a lot more like someone has a song and we complete it and then we bring it, or it's like almost complete and we bring it to everyone else, and then everyone finds their part in it, if that makes sense.
We've also wrote where someone will just like write a riff that they like, and they'll just be like, check out this
you
riff.
wrote a riff?
Oh yeah,
Talk about your song, dude.
we had a great experience recently with writing. That's not sarcastic either. It's a really good experience.
Yeah, so I joined Parotia in like May, and they were like these two.
Just us.
Yeah,
Just
Like,
Jeremy
I'm
and
trying to
I.
go more like rocky, punky. So I was like, okay. And I went home and wrote a punk riff that I really liked, and they didn't like it. It wasn't received well, and then
It wasn't received badly.
no, not bad.
It was like,
Oh yeah,
hit.
it was like, oh yeah, maybe, and then kind of sweep it away. And then I brought it up
Marinate.
several more times. I really liked it, and then I brought it up. It was like my last. It was the last time I was gonna bring it up, but I had to one more time, and so I brought it up, and I think it was just Kyle, Jeremy, and Kiara at that practice. I don't think Gage. I think Gage had to work anyway.
This
Yeah,
was like
so-
a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
how
kind of
long it's been since he's been trying to like give us some space time.
And so finally, someone was like, yeah, I like that, and we wrote the entire song in like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was cool. Yeah, you played the bass line, and you're like, can we just do something with this? And then I was like, I like this drum beat. And then we just were like, the whole writing process was like, oh, what if we did this? That's sick. Okay, let's go into the next part of the song. And
Just needed
So
time.
that was really rewarding for me. So like a finally.
that's one of those times where I do think that like magic is real, because we were like, okay, what's the verse gonna be? And then like the first thing you played, it was like, oh, okay, obviously, yeah, that's the verse. And then we just like finished the song. And we like put like a whole breakdown in it and a turnaround thing, and it's
Maybe it's because you kept doing it, kept going back, so it was kind of in the back of your mind.
I think so.
You know? So
I think
you're almost
so.
like your subconscious.
I think
You know what I mean? As time
you
Yeah.
said that you didn't even know that that was an original.
Yeah, because he played it so often, just like in between at our practices. And I was like,
somewhere,
that's a really good song, dude. Who wrote that?
Yeah,
Me.
like, I'm trying to show you all this.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah. So the difference I think was adding 2 more members and having their influence in their ears. So they like Kyle was really big on writing those songs. He wrote the verse riff mostly, and the breakdown at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nice. Yeah.
that was really fun. And that song is definitely one of our heavier ones. Wouldn't y'all say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those, like 2-minute long songs, but it's just really, I would say like really heavy, but heavier for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it's a
Fun.
metal song.
It's fast. It's more punk than anything.
Yeah,
It's more like
yeah.
80s punk than anything, but then it has like a weird metal turn. Not weird, but
It's like a
metal
metal
turnaround breakdown.
breakdown.
Yes, yeah. That's a good
So
one.
this will be on the new project, the EP, or
This will not, because we recorded everything right after, like right before
Right
we
before
wrote
we
this.
finished the song.
Oh, I right. You were just talking about a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we've been talking about that, like it's so good that we're probably gonna have to release it as a single.
Yeah, yeah.
Standalone singles are always acceptable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just especially for where we're at music wise, like as a band, just to have like a variety of music on a platform where people can listen to it. Yeah, even if that just means putting out random singles sometimes.
Yeah.
A song we like.
That's what a lot of bands do now.
Yeah.
A lot of indie bands do that. I think that's
Yeah.
big in the indie movement.
Yeah.
Not to harken back to but so all three of you are in college. Like if you live in Blacksburg, I would assume all three of you are in college.
So I just graduated last spring, but I'm just sticking around for the music.
Yeah, we're all the same age. I am taking an extra semester,
Okay.
so I graduate in a couple months, and
I graduate in 2024 because I have like a 5-year program and I joined a year late, so lots of college.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, we're all at that age where, like, if we took traditional college paths, we should have graduated, but
Yeah.
Kiara did, none of us did. And then Gage and Kyle are a year younger, so they're in their senior years of college.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, Gage is out of school right now, but gonna go back, I think, later.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Kyle was our age.
No, Kyle's a year younger than us.
It's crazy.
And Gage is a baby. Gage is like what?
Gage is
Gage,
20, actually.
yeah.
So
Gage
Gage
is
is 2 years
20.
younger than us.
oh, okay.
Just a real baby.
I think. Hold on. No, I think you guys are. Well, congratulations. This is you guys are the youngest band to. I mean, we've only done 4 of these.
Yeah.
Still youngest.
Do you guys have any peers like in the Blacksburg music scene? You think that there's people that you can play a show with, and you're like, this makes sense? Is there anyone else that kind of gels with your sound?
Definitely.
I was about to. Well, I was going to get into it later. I was going to. I mean, I guess you haven't really played many shows in Roanoke, but you guys have played in Salem.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the Blacksburg scene like?
So good. I mean,
It's taken off. Really.
it's underground and it's grown since we've like joined it, and it's really cool and it's really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is really like. There's a little bit of drama, but I don't think it's even
It's
like
just
that
silly stuff
serious.
mostly.
Yeah, it's just silly stuff. Everyone is like just so wonderful.
It's really supportive, and like, yeah, anytime we have like a gig and just talking to the other bands, it's like just talking to friends.
We're almost always inviting somebody to a show or getting invited to do a show with somebody in Blacksburg.
Yeah.
Like there's always something in the DM. There's always an opportunity for
Yes.
someone else or us, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of lifts each other up.
That's nice. Not all scenes do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We even have a friend in a band from Georgia who, whenever they go on like a little short tour, they make sure to stop by Blacksburg because they just love the people here in this tiny little town.
Such an underrated scene.
Yeah. I wish there were like, I don't know, just more places for the like bands to play because it really is just like one venue downtown and basements.
Yeah.
I was about to say house shows versus venues. I know I've played quite a few times at the Milk Parlor.
Yeah.
And that's
Love Power.
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's so in your opinion, or I guess in your guys' opinion, what house shows or the venues around
That's
They both got pros and cons.
yeah.
Yeah. I would say like house shows provide typically a more intimate experience, which can be like crazy. One of our like favorite shows we ever did was a house show last February or this past February. But doing a show at a venue, of course, is going to be so much just more professional, you know, like. I don't know, you make more money.
You're on a stage.
You're on a stage, there's a sound system,
You're on a stage,
not
that's
just
pretty
like this person's PA and that person's PA.
I love the sound man. I cannot remember his name, and he's told me like I played there at least 4 or 5 times. But I love the sound man at the Milk Parlor because he's just like, all right, let's get this right. This is my guitar amp. That's
Yeah. It might have been someone, I don't know, she hires different people to come in for sound.
yeah.
But that house show, I want to go back to that. Like, one of our best shows was a house show in Blacksburg, and it was a townhouse. And it was, I mean, it was nuts. That was like, that felt like, what?
At the retreat.
Yeah. That one felt like, I don't know. That's the first time I felt like, oh, people like what we do, you know? And
Yeah.
like, because that was also early on where we were like making the shift to like heavier music.
Yeah,
And people
you were, like,
received it very well, and the house was filled up, and like people, you know,
Stacked.
were this close to our
Like,
like
5
Kiara and like the
inches
guitar.
away.
I was sitting on drums, I was fine, everybody was away from me. But,
That's typically how drummers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to like stand on our amps to just have a little bit of distance and make sure people could see us.
Yeah, so that show was when I was just like a fanboy of Parotia. I went to like all their shows and stuff. And just from an audience perspective, that was a crazy show. With people standing on their amps. Yeah, it was just this.
yeah,
It's just this room, and there's no wiggle room, but everyone's jumping and shoving. I mean, it was.
It was cold
Crazy.
outside,
It was
but it was
cold, like,
hot
cold
as
outside.
hell
Yeah.
inside because it was just heat, like body heat.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was so chaotic and stressful, but then as soon as we like started the first song, it's just like a wall of sound, and then like that's the show, and everything was like amazing.
And it
really
didn't get
go.
shut down, which is like you have to appreciate that because that happens very often.
Yeah.
I once played a house show in Blacksburg with. Or no, I'm sorry. This was my. I'm in this group called Lucy the Spy, and they.
Oh shit! Oh, can I?
No, you can swear. This is,
I wasn't sure.
no, hey, absolutely.
That was a while ago.
7 deadly sins. No, my bandmates were playing a house show, and somebody had shoved a couch right in front of the door, so you couldn't
Oh wow.
really. Nobody could get in and nobody could get out. That
Oh,
was
that's scary.
whoa.
Ooh, you have to have those fire exits accessible.
Yeah,
Sounds safe.
but you know, I when you had a house full of drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not thinking about furniture. Yeah, there was a house show we went to in Radford where they had to like move their couch in the kitchen. Someone threw up on the couch and no one like warned anybody, and the floor where the band was like caved in, and so there was they broke the floor from moshing
It
and
was, yeah, it was the
jumping.
audience.
It wasn't as dramatic as you think it is. It was like
like a cult.
it went from this to this.
But it was like
But it was still
carpet,
fucking
and it was, like,
broken.
I remember
yeah.
not
standing in the kitchen.
For those
watching-
listening, it was just a small indentation.
No, but I remember standing in the kitchen looking into where everyone was going crazy, and you see the floor just like trampled.
Oh
my God. It was so like you want to go in, but you're also scared of falling
Sure.
into the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, stop jumping.
Oh, it was so funny. The bassist, Sam, I can't remember his last name. Harbin?
Sam from this band
Great,
called
I'm glad that's
Sunbeamers. I love
Sam,
you, Sam.
the bassist from Sunbeamers, was kind of like the front man, like leading, like kind of like the banter and everything.
Yeah.
And,
It was also
telling
his
everybody-
house.
Yeah, it was his house, telling everybody to go crazy and stuff like that. And he was like, I don't think y'all moshed like well enough for the last song. Go harder this song. And then I was like kind of like beside him, like in the audience. And then I heard him turn around and go, oh shit, they broke the floor. Like, it was like, maybe go easy on this one. So it's crazy.
I mean, that's only the energy you can get at a house show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thing. Like, although it's more professional to do at a venue, it is like,
Yeah,
I mean,
different.
You get some wild
Just
stories.
playing and having someone like
there's less separation between you and the crowd.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, yeah. So I guess I have a question here that is essentially what is your best gig, what is your worst gig, and what is your craziest gig? What gig would that have to qualify the floor caving in as your
Well,
craziest?
that wasn't. We didn't play that.
Oh, we
were
just
going.
went to
Yeah.
that
that was
show.
just bands that we were
Okay.
familiar with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Worst gig.
Worst gig?
Was it Ivanhoe?
Oh,
Are
man.
we allowed to say?
Yeah, I mean, hey,
No, I think it was in Salem.
Oh, this past one that we just did?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much drama we're allowed to, like, talk about.
we are
Don't say any names. Don't
Yeah,
say
no,
any
no, no.
names.
full of.
Yeah, we had all sorts of trouble with getting sound right. You know, it was an out of town gig for us, so like there
always a little
wasn't this huge
hectic.
crowd or anything.
Wow, you're working with Aberration.
Cannot confirm or
Can't
deny.
deny, yeah. If
Do you know anything about Aberration?
I
I got
do.
some raised eyebrows.
I do.
It's going on the internet.
Yeah, man, I will. No.
Anyways, it's implied.
It's fine.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, we didn't get paid for the gigs.
Yeah.
Then we got ghosted.
But then
That's
the
the
whole
worst.
story was like there was a big twist. There was a really big twist.
It was
Like,
It
ridiculous.
became
this
really
guy,
so
he
silly.
doesn't, huh? Yeah.
What? Not with.
So they're criminal. Oh, never mind.
Well, you know.
We've already said too much.
Just look at their reviews
You
on
know.
Yeah.
Jesus, guys.
Alright, let's get back to the fun
Let's get back to our best gig.
Let's
Crazy.
Okay, what is your best gig if you know?
I have to say,
I
the first time we played the Milk Parlor this semester,
That was good.
it was packed.
Yeah.
But then also the most recent time, having Gage, so the lead guitarist, having a lead guitarist was,
yeah.
the crowd was crazy.
And I mean, the thing that's also really fun is we like do a few like mix 'em ups where, you know, Kyle will just sing for a song and I'll play guitar, or there's like a song that we cover and it's just a trio, and so two of us can kind of just fuck around and do whatever. And so it's just really fun having that sort of dynamic environment to also perform, but like not be performing, you know, if that makes sense. And so we just get really silly. And this last show where we had Gage, it's just really silly.
What do you mean, silly?
Like,
During the trio,
it's just so silly.
we cover Breed by Nirvana, so during that it's just me, Jeremy, and Kyle. So Kyle's playing guitar and singing, you know, drums with. And
They'll go and mosh.
yeah, they'll mosh, and one
Davis
time
like got in the audience. It was playing its bass in the audience.
that was really fun.
It's-
But Kiara she had like a GoPro one time, just like running around.
Yeah, just like recording everyone.
Yeah, it's so great. Yeah, whenever we cover that song, so this ties back around to like the best show in your opinion, because this is the first time we did all this with like the new lineup, playing Breed and doing like these different things. I just want to say that like covering a Nirvana song is kind of, you gotta be careful.
You do have to be careful.
Yeah.
But it is absolute chaos whenever we cover it, so I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like it is insane. The crowd actually goes
They were
nuts.
super really
And it's
well,
not
yeah.
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Right.
Nirvana fans are like purists or what? Like it's hard. I didn't know that about like covering Nirvana songs. Like it's a
It's
I just
tough.
feel like any big band,
tough.
you know.
yeah.
I think we tried to do it. What there was there
Was it Breed?
yeah, I think it was Breed.
Yeah.
I think it was Breed, but then essentially we played a brewery gig back in the summer, and I got to the brewery, and the first band was a little. I can't tell you how many times the bar manager I was involved in. I organized this. I organized this. I think it was. We played last. We played last. There was. The first band was just. They were asked to turn down a few times, and
Moms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Moms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we follow them on Instagram. They're
Yeah.
great.
So they were too loud
They're great.
apparently.
Yeah, they were. But no, it was.
You never want to hear that.
No, well, it was.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a cool thing.
Disagree?
I mean, we've been told that, so.
You don't want to be asked to
That was
turn
never
down.
good.
Yeah,
And
but like
that's
it's
and that's
also
it right there.
hard rock.
The sound guy was.
Oh, thank you. I just really like this one.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
It was definitely an experience. But I kind of turned to Ryan and Jacob and said, "We're not doing Breed. We're
Sorry, because I had the first band.
yeah." I was just like, I'm like,
Yeah, quiet song.
Yeah.
you have to have that energy. Well, I mean, I guess if you're doing like, I could see it be. Oh, let's get the elephant out of the room. A puddle of mud. The About a Girl cover.
They do that?
They did it once.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, have you guys seen this
Have you-
video?
No.
Oh, yeah, when you
Oh.
get a chance.
Okay.
It's just his vocals. It's like, is he serious? He's being serious. It sounds really bad.
Well, that's the part.
Wait,
know what happened.
By Nirvana?
Yeah.
Yeah, Puddle of Mud.
Oh,
They're doing like an acoustic cover.
They were doing an acoustic
Oh,
cover
no.
for like
What?
Sirius XM, and he goes to.
Maybe I have heard this actually.
Oh,
Because that sounds so
it is
familiar.
I thought he
terrible.
was joking at first with that. It's really bad.
Have you seen the live version of Come On Eileen, like on YouTube? It's,
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Is it good? Or?
it's really bad.
Oh,
He
yeah.
sounds like a dying goat.
But it's by the original group.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
it's really funny.
by the Dixie Writers.
There are too many words in that
can't
name to
remember.
remember.
Yeah,
it's Dixie song.
That was the one
I feel like.
song.
But it's hilarious.
Can
Yeah.
we talk about
No.
the all right? No, can we talk about the teak show where the cops showed up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we were playing.
For legal reasons, we were
No, so we were playing like a fundraiser for this frat, and it was outside, and there were 4 bands, and we were the last to go on, and the cops showed up during the end of the 3rd band's set. So we were about to go on, and they were like, "You gotta quiet down," and we were like, "We don't know how to do
We
that."
have an hour-long set with a loud band.
Oh yeah, and they gave us a time limit. They were like, "You got 15 minutes left," and we had like an hour set. So we just ended up playing like 4 or 5 songs, and like I did my best to be quiet. I was really bored on
I was so
drums.
bored. I remember that.
Yeah, and then we closed with the song "Ruby" that's gonna be on the EP, and that one's just. It's so, and that's just the nature of the song. It's just like to get people like just moving and everything. And I was like, I don't know. You were like, you turned around to me and said something like,
I said, go crazy.
Yeah, go crazy. And I was like, are you
I was like,
serious?
alright guys, this is my last song. Let's get fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Let's get loud. And then the guy who's like in charge, like the president of the bride, he was like,
yeah, he was holding his, he was stressed out.
please.
Laugh with this last one. He was like, oh no. And then you said that, and then you turned around and I said, can I really play loud? And you said, go for it. And then we just played really loud, and it was really fun, and we ended on time. Yeah, and the cops didn't actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah.
We just needed one.
I mean, hey, the Beatles on the roof,
Right.
Yeah.
Where was that? Where you guys were playing that show? Where the guys?
That was like downtown Blacksburg
Yeah, okay.
at a frat.
Yeah.
It's called Roanoke Street, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so tricky just playing in Blacksburg.
That wasn't Teak.
Oh, it was Zeta Psi. I'm sorry.
I was like,
My bad.
yeah.
That's why you didn't want me to talk about it, because you thought I was talking about T.
Yeah, I was like, that wasn't, there were no cops there, but yeah,
Yeah.
we got it. We're good. There's a lot of frats that, not a lot of frats, but
So the majority of the shows are in homes in Blacksburg that you guys play, or is that not the case?
I wouldn't say the majority are homes. The majority are in Blacksburg, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like half and half with the milk parlor and house shows.
Gotcha.
We've definitely done more milk parlor shows than house shows this past year.
Yeah, we haven't played a house show this semester.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking to do that though.
Yeah, we have a couple planned.
Not that we're like too famous to do house shows anymore. Like we just haven't done
No, I
it.
love a house show.
Yeah, they're good energy.
House shows are, it's a different beast right there.
Yeah.
Those also just kind of like come up more in the spring because people want us to play outside. And is really nice, and it's really cold right now in the mountains, and just not a lot of people want us to play outside.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
Get in the basement and go,
It gets warm in there quick.
Body heat.
Yeah.
It does.
Who do you guys like locally? I mean, I like local musicians as far as, I guess you have, it's Blacksburg.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Like,
West Virginia, maybe.
Yeah.
just West Virginia.
Yeah.
Trouble gum.
I was about to say, because Mark lives out there, Christian, I think he said.
Christian.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
Blacksburgish right now.
Trouble Gum.
They're my favorite.
Cherry Moon.
Yeah.
Cherry Moon
It's great.
is like, they're so good, and they don't have any music out either, but I wish they did. They have SoundCloud stuff.
Hey, they might become a famous rapper. You don't know.
You're right. They just need Davis. Orange Culture. I'm a big fan of Orange Culture. Her Majesty,
Oh, I love
who
Her
we are playing with
Majesty.
this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
we
awesome.
played a game with Her Majesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they rock.
We should interview them because they're younger than us.
Yeah,
They are.
we'll get around to it. It's just
They're all like dispersed.
yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, exactly.
They're dispersed.
Paper Plant.
Paper Plant.
Paper Plant. They're kind of like
They're younger too.
they were like
So fucking
I don't know. They were just kind of like the new band last year, and they like the first gig that they did at the Mo Parlor was with us, and they had a 30-minute set. But this year they've actually had like a big push, and they're doing a lot of gigs right now. So they're from Blacksburg.
Yeah, our friends in Smooth Brain. They just played last night with another band who just did their first show. Was it right? Dumpster Raccoon?
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
What a name!
I know. They're all like friends of ours in some way or another, either from like another band or like, someone auditioned for us actually to be our lead guitarist.
and he's now the lead guitarist for Dumpster Raccoon.
Yeah.
Sunbeamers.
Sunbeam.
Oh, Sunbeamers!
The one in Radford, the house show or the floor.
Caved in.
Sunbeamers, they were the headliner for that.
Yeah.
They're
They're
so
high
good. They're so good.
Brain
Brain Sludge. I was
Sludge.
just
Yeah.
about to Brain Sludge there. So they're like,
They are
Death
the
metal.
death metal band.
and they're crazy. Like, just
Yeah.
everyone's hands are going like this on the guitar, like
Spider
spider hands,
hands,
all
yeah.
the entire time. Just like,
Are most of these bands Blacksburg fans? Or they?
I would say Blacksburg, Roanoke, Bradford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah,
This little
just
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a handful of a lot of bands that we really like.
We will eventually get Orange Culture, Her Majesty. Like I have a list of people have said, it's like, oh yeah, we'll do this podcast, but it's just
It's a lot of organizing.
it's a lot of organizing
A lot of
and
soup.
cheesy bread. Cheesy bread just doesn't go around.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
So, what were some songs? Did you guys already have some songs picked that we could play?
Yeah,
Yeah.
CCW was
CCW.
recorded, not mixed.
Yeah, so
That's an older one too.
yeah, that was a version of Counterclockwise that we recorded earlier this year with some of the older members who are now gone, except for Jeremy and myself. So we're gonna re-record that, but that's like a sort of complete song.
Doesn't feel like you anymore. Spring will come the same way it always does. Flowers bloom, and I'll still miss she'll lose them all. Domino by domino, watch how it all falls apart. And would you say you're sorry for all the shit you've caused? The innocence that you stole. 'Cause she was just a Oh, do you wish that you could turn the clock back? Go back in time and then fall counterclockwise. Oh, do you wish that you could turn the clock back to our first summer when it was just you and me? I hope you're ready for whatever comes your way now, any day now. The show's over as I forget the times that we had together.
When should we look for this EP come out?
Before winter break,
Don't
right?
look at me.
That's what we said, right? Before winter break.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the biggest question mark is how long it's going to take to do all the producing aspect of it and like mixing it, and
That's-
how many times we have to go back and forth. Be like, ooh, we like this, but can you change the, you know?
Yeah, so all the instruments will be done recording by the end of October. And then, like you just said,
That's
the
just-
aspect of it.
So before the end of the year, it will be out.
Or early next year.
Okay.
Depending on DistroKid. Well, DistroKid has a weird release
It
date.
does, it
where
takes
has
2
to-
weeks.
Yeah, so.
We're gonna upload that before
Somewhere.
the end of the year. DistroKid will take 2 weeks. So hopefully it will be 2 weeks before January 1st.
That's not far.
I know,
We're
I
really
know.
pushing it. We haven't done a
Yeah.
lot of gigs in October to focus on this.
Recording,
Recording,
writing.
they're writing new music and just getting things down. So,
I feel like everybody's kind of doing. I feel like, well, not everybody, but all of the bands that I know are kind of going into hibernation to record or.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you have to do because it takes so much. There's so much time and energy and frustration.
And redoing things. And
Yeah.
it's really tough to do all that while also being in
It's
playing shape for
cool.
gigs.
Oh, it's almost impossible
Yeah, I've
to do a gig every weekend.
So why the hell are we doing this to ourselves?
We love music.
best though.
Yeah, right?
Why are we complaining?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because playing gigs is fun and there's nothing like it, but then there comes that moment where it's like, where can I listen to y'all? It's like,
Right.
SoundCloud here. Live.
well, next weekend will be at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But creating, I mean, it's a stressful process and recording.
It's
There's a
frustrating.
lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
Creating is the fun part for me. I love making music, but recording it is.
Recording is-
Oh,
yeah.
Recording is the worst.
Yeah.
I hate recording.
Well, now let's complain about recording for an hour. I just love it when you push the record button and you have a guitar part, and essentially it might just be a C to a G to a D, but you go a C to a D to a G, and it
Right.
just goes.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
There's something about just knowing that you're being recorded where you're just
The pressure's on.
Oh, and then there's little stuff like when I recorded the drums, there was an overhead mic, and I like on the first take on the first song just hit it while I was playing. And Maxwell was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna be able to edit that out. You gotta redo it." It's ridiculous.
Yes, so little things like that happen as well.
Yeah. Because not only do you have to record the whole 3, 4, 5 minute long song, but then you have to listen to it.
And do
then-
it 4 more times.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, this should only take like an hour, 4 hours
Oh, yeah.
later.
4 songs, 5 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes.
Never that 3 minutes just turned into like 48 hours.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, do you all record in one room, or do you have Lost in Space Camp? We were talking to them, and they legitimately have the drums mic'd up, they have the bass, they have guitars and vocals, and they record it. I think was it a shed? Was it Austin's shed?
I think that's
Whoa,
what he said.
in
Yeah.
a shed?
Yeah.
Just in a shed. Essentially, they do it.
That's cool.
If somebody messes up, they, well, at least for some of their more current songs, that's what they've done. It's just legitimately. I was like,
It's a lot
so you
of
guys,
performance.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
So we've done both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I mean-
recorded a lot of drums first and just got the drum tracks down, just listened to a metronome. Laid it down, and then everything else is being layered on. But there were 2 songs, Ruby and Cherry Limeade, where for Cherry Limeade, I played drums and Kyle recorded the guitar at the same time. And we just both listened in headphones just because it's such a repetitive song that I need that guitar melody to kind of keep me going to like go into the next part, the chorus and the bridge and everything. Then with Ruby, that one has like, how many tempo changes? Like 4?
Man.
I'm not slime.
How many don't know? It's yeah.
It's like got like 4 tempo changes, and none of them are the same. Like none of them. It's not like 120 to 180 to 120. It's like each one is a different.
slightly.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not
it
right.
just goes
Maybe
ever
that's
so
just how we
slightly
play.
faster.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Anyway, so we didn't feel like figuring out what the BPM for each section was going to be and combining them with the timing and everything. So we recorded drums, bass, and guitar all at the same time for that song.
Not just that, we could have figured out the tempo changes, but it's also just one of those songs where we wanted like the full band sound, you know, like just all of us playing together
In a
and,
room.
you know, looking at each
Yeah.
other, you know, figuring it out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you're right.
So
That's also, it has to do with the energy of the song.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that is a rock punk song, and all recording together is much more of that intangible thing, that energy,
Yeah.
than doing separate parts.
Jason, my drummer from Lucy, the Spy, is cringing right now. He's like, you need to. There are certain ways to. Like, just,
That
We
might,
don't know anything about recording and
that
stuff.
might be
so.
tough to mix because we didn't put a metronome to it,
Hey.
but it,
Yeah,
that's
not our problem.
but also it's like
Maxwell, you know.
good luck.
Godspeed.
No, but it's also one of those songs, like, if any song is not going to be perfect, that's the one that's going to benefit from not being perfect.
Yeah.
And I
And
like
there's,
to.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I like to see it as a band I've recently got into is Car Seat Headrest. I think we're in our early Car Seat Headrest days where he is recording songs in his car, and maybe in like 8 years someone will be like, let's re-record that in an actual like professional setting. We'll be like,
Right.
well, okay.
Yeah.
So we can get away with not sounding like a professional studio.
Yeah, at this point, we're just getting music out
We
there.
just need something.
How many times have you heard that speech?
I just knew that car seat headrest was going to come out of her mouth. It's like,
Leave me alone. I love
was waiting for
Toledo.
I didn't know those songs were written in a car.
Yeah, the original like Twin Fantasy, whatever. I don't know. My ex-boyfriend was just beyond into Car Seat Headrest. But yeah, all his older stuff, like a lot of the songs he wrote in high school, and now he's like what 30 or something, and has all these like re-releases of them, or just better newer songs also. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always go back to Phoebe Bridgers as an example because she has her EP on Spotify and it's just her and the acoustic guitar. And then when she got signed, she had like a full band behind her with like the same songs from the EP plus another 5 songs, which is hopeful for bands writing an EP.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was talking to Ryan here. We're currently working on an EP. Well, but no, we're currently working on one. And I said I feel like an EP is essentially, it just showcases the song. It showcases what it can do, but
Right.
not necessarily it doesn't have to be. I think you said it doesn't necessarily have to be polished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's good to have a home quality to an EP.
It just goes back to the point where you just got to have something out there. You know, and if the right ears find it, then who knows what can happen.
Yeah. You never know when somebody's, gonna hear it. Somebody important is gonna hear it and be like, I hear something there and I can make it better.
We can do that again.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm waiting.
what if you
Waiting
added
for that moment.
strings?
What if y'all played this well?
You know what? You two switch it. Just see what happens.
But yeah, you gotta have content now. You gotta have something.
Exactly.
You can't just be like, I promise we're making stuff, but
Yeah, we've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. Oh my god, some of our old Instagram posts are from March. We're like, all right guys, we're gonna have an EP out soon this year, and it's now October. We're like,
I promise.
Coming soon.
coming soon.
But it's always nice when we get stuff done. The drums and bass are done for everything, and guitar, half the guitar is pretty much done for everything.
That's most of what I found recording is that's most of the battle. It's the drums and bass.
Yeah.
The guitars, the synth, even the vocals. It's just if you got a good drum and bass, everything else
Foundation,
should be,
yeah.
it's foundation, the house. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
For those listening, I just fist bump.
Yeah.
Well, but getting drums, even for me as the non-drummer, was really stressful just because, like you said, it's so much more difficult to get the drum sound you want if you don't do it professionally. And then it's expensive and it takes time.
Right.
Yeah, we had a friend with an electric kit offer to record us. That sharp inhale. Yeah, that's exactly Jeremy's reaction. He's like, I'm not doing
That's where I
that.
draw the line. I'm sorry, especially
Jeremy, you want to have music out? Just please.
I know you kept pushing that. I was like, there is another way. There's no way I'm recording on an electric drum kit. And we figured it out. But
We
you
did.
did recommend a few times. You were like, please just do the electric drum kit. I was like,
Lucy has recorded with an E-kit drummer. He will do it.
better than me.
But yes, there are certain releases that's just an E-kit. But yeah, I don't blame you. He has his drums fine tuned.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, this is what I want my kit. And that's
Right, yeah, it's
yeah.
from someone who doesn't play music, a drum kit probably is just a drum kit, but from a musician's perspective, and especially a drummer's perspective, it's like, no, each piece has to sound exactly how I need it to sound.
This is
And you can edit that on
Cymbals
your
are less
DAW.
important because they're expensive, but snare, tom, bass, everything needs to be just exactly how I want it to be, basically.
Yeah.
What is it about the E-kit? Is it like a latency thing going on? A little
You just
bit?
can't tune it to how you want. It's you just
Parotia's
it's not the same. It's not the same. I'm hitting rubber and it's making a noise through an electronic, whatever, electronic receiver transfer. It's not the same as hitting a cymbal and that noise being the result of the stick hitting the metal and the stick hitting the heads of the drums. It's just takes me out of it.
whenever, and that's exactly it. Whenever I can tell with Lucy, whenever we record with an E-kit, we somehow programmed. He somehow got a program. He programmed his drums into the E-kit somehow.
Like his
That's crazy.
his drum.
Yeah, like he found
That's very
he recorded his
Wow.
drums and
recorded his kit.
recorded his kit.
That's cool.
But I can tell it's not the same. It takes him. I would say it takes him longer because I've recorded with him with live drums and I've recorded with the E-kit. It takes him longer to do the E-kit than it does the drums, but that's just my opinion. I love you, buddy.
Yeah, there is a degree of separation when you use an electric kit of that, it's gonna sound really corny, but that blocks the soul from getting into the music as much as it does an acoustic kit. Because
It's another barrier between you and the
and the sound you want.
sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm anti-auto-tune too, actually.
So all of your songs are auto-tuned? Oh, that's a shame.
No, I am perfect pitch. No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm glad I got a drum spiel out this afternoon.
Yeah, drummers.
Oh, snaps. So what has been your favorite what's been your favorite part of recording?
Getting it over. It's like several hours recording 2 songs, and then it's like that take is good enough.
Good enough.
High five, and then then we get to.
We can splice the other 2 together. That's
No, it has been a learning experience. This is my first time actually recording, so yeah, several retakes, and even like we had trouble figuring out how to use certain parts of the software, even to where we're just sitting on the computer for an hour trying to.
They're like,
fix the
how does it
metronome
stop? Like, how do we change the metronome? Like, from changing the music, and they're all trying something, and I go, check YouTube. Like, look on YouTube. And Kyle's like, what are we gonna look up? How to fix the metronome? And then I step outside for 5 minutes, I find the video for it, and I come back and, like, get off, move, and then clack, done. And it was,
Everybody started clapping.
thank you. God.
I always Kyle was there for that.
Kyle was also fucking drunk.
The day that we were recording bass and had practice, there was a Virginia Tech football game, and before practice, Kyle went and tailgated. And he was like, "God, I'm drunk. You gotta pick me up for practice." Then we go, and then we start trying to record, and Kyle's like, "Wait a minute, let me get on the laptop." He's just on there. He's like, "I don't know what to do."
It's like the one drunk guy in the group.
He did help a lot. I don't want to let. He's not here to defend himself. He did
Between
a
the
lot.
5 of us,
There
we
were a
got
few
it
moments
done,
where it was
but
just
it
to have
was-
this drunk guy on Ableton recording.
Yeah.
He was very helpful.
He was like, why can't we just have one DAW? Because we all use different DAWs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how do I scrub? How do I split the like move, you know? Oh, I got it.
I always love when band members have different DAWs
Yeah,
as we are recording.
Speaking of which.
That's what we're doing, actually, because all of us have different ones. So
Yeah.
that'll be a fun
But
little...
all that stuff, it just like gets you out of the mood of like creating.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. You know,
Yeah.
Thinking about metronomes and
But also,
DAWs and
there are those people called producers, and
You know? Yeah, and I
that's
love
what they're there
that.
for.
and that's as much love to sound engineers everywhere.
Yeah, because it's a job.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 They make it easier for the creative process to flourish. And I wish we had that, but maybe Rick Rubin will hear our EP.
Yeah.
So
You never know.
You never know.
I'll send it to him a lot. I'll send it to his email.
Every day.
Cease and desist.
Yeah, but no, getting it over with. It's just hearing that take back in a less cynical way, hearing that take back, and just knowing that that's the one. It's like, all right, that's the one that's going on Spotify. It's one, like the take we're releasing. It's a really good feeling.
We had a series around this time last year where we did like probably 2 or 3 different like sessions of recording, and by session I mean like days, with different people recording and offering to mix and trying to do it ourselves even, and it was just such a hot mess that we just kind of and like didn't touch it for a while, and then we got new band members, and then it was just a lot.
That was between phase 3 and the. Well, hold on, no.
Like phase 4 or 5-ish. Like chapter 4 or 5.
The chapter.
Yeah.
That was like 3 and 4.
Yeah,
Like 3 and 4. Yeah, because we kicked someone out of the band because he was a piece of shit.
Oh,
So,
that's
that's
That's always fun.
that's how it goes.
Crazy. Nothing to say right now.
Well, the thing about it is we can edit.
That's true.
I don't care if he hears it. That's okay.
It was a hot mess, though. I was there for that part of it, and in chapter 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And it sucked. The tension was high. Everybody was getting mad at each other, and
Yeah.
Was it just one person that was causing most of the tension?
No.
Just or no?
I mean, from Kiara's standpoint, yes, because that person was also my roommate. But we were bandmates before roommates, which worked because David, our old drummer, and I were roommates as well.
Yeah.
Very different story with this individual, and and then he was also just a not good bandmate.
From my
Not
perspective,
responsible.
I think I was a little bit removed because removed in a way that I had an outsider's perspective.
Oh, I was gonna say you're behind your drum kit.
No. Maybe you record drums first, and so the drums were recorded, so I really didn't have much to do with anything going on after that, but I was present.
Yeah.
And I would say that it was just a lot of people disagreeing on stuff. Not to undermine what you said just now.
No.
'Cause that's a part of it too.
That's
but from my
another.
perspective, there's just a lot of disagreements on how we want it to sound and prices of like mixing and stuff like that. And just a lot of editing that happened that not a lot of us were told about, not communicating, and it was rough. It's better now. It's great
good.
now. Not to
Yeah.
bring the mood down or anything.
Yeah, we've always had a bunch of headstrong members, and sometimes our heads are a little too strong, and we just start whacking each other with them, and then we're not making progress, and we're just getting mad at each other.
And you
But
can't exist in the same band together.
yeah. So
Or at least you can't create. You
Right.
know?
There you go. Yeah.
Even if it happens with PR and me a lot. I feel like we both have really strong opinions, and also we've been in the band like the longest out of everybody at this point, so we definitely butt heads creatively a lot.
But I love this guy.
But it's fine. Like, I mean, it's not anything personal.
I feel like essentially a good band is essentially like a good marriage. You're going to fight
It is. It's like
constantly. Yeah.
it's like having 4 significant others.
Yes.
My brother husband. Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we can't just walk away from this argument. We have to figure it out. Or else we'll never get anything done.
Right.
And then it's worked out so far.
And sometimes that
It
is
is
like,
working out.
let's just rest and not talk about it right now and do it again next week, next practice.
Take a
or
break.
whatever. Yeah, because sometimes we do just get to that point where it's like, we don't know what else to do. And
That happens.
yeah.
Anything creative.
Yeah. You do
But-
need to let the subconscious get in
Yeah,
there.
so one of our new songs that she wrote the riff for, it's been in the process for so long. We just finally got like a really good run through of it yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was funny, like right when we were over, Kyle and I were talking about how we wanted to give up on the song so many times, like.
But they never mentioned it. They always just went,
it, but it was getting to the point where I was like, okay, the song is going to be over.
they're like, wait guys, I
to
promise.
ourselves again. And, yeah, finally it went somewhere. And,
No progress has been made for a while.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's just, as I don't want to say primary songwriter, but I think I have the most songs of the band.
Sure.
So each band member brings in songs, but you just said you're the primary songwriter.
Yeah, so I have like I-64 is one of my originals, Counterclockwise, Ruby, Heat is this new one that we're talking about. Those are ones that I try to like finish, or at least have like 70-80% done, and then I'll bring it to them. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, I wrote like this really simple guitar part for it, but I don't really know what the lead guitar part should be or how this ending outro should go. Let's kind of work on that together and see what we can all do.
Right.
And like sometimes when it's there's no concrete thing, it does feel like there's nothing here.
Yeah,
It's not going
you
anywhere.
said you like to bring songs with 80 to 90%. You brought Heat with like 15%.
Yeah, I had this riff.
Yeah.
It was just a riff. And I was like, I know what I want this to be about. I know it's a song about like climate change, essentially. Heat.
And it fit. The
It's
riff
60
fit
degrees
the
today.
idea.
Yeah.
The spark was there, but then
Yeah.
you'd be like, all right, you want to try playing Heat?
And then I
It would be
had
that
to
riff for the
move, and then I had
longest
to find a
time.
new job, and then I had I fucking graduated. So there's a lot of stuff that got in the way. But
Yeah, Heat is another one. When did you bring that? Like early June, late May?
yeah, like
It's
spring,
been
summer.
around like just as long as the
And we got the full run through of it with the full band for the first time yesterday.
yesterday.
Wow.
late though.
That's what I say. That's,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we finished it now. But like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't say anything about giving up on this.
Yeah.
I think it's really
Life happens, and
kept-
you just gotta go with the flow. And
Yeah.
not rush it. Like, all right, we're gonna get to it.
Yeah. Like sometimes it does take, God, sometimes a year to just write a song.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's-
Waiting for that one piece to bring it together.
I mean, that's how Ruby also
Well-
started, you know?
You almost, sometimes there are songs that you write and it's like, okay, I like this part of the song, but the rest of it is, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
just takes that time to develop.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I brought, what was it, the dad vibes. That was, I had this piano, no, it was a drum track and just a piano, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this, and you came up with this bass part that was just like,
Just all
it
comes
melts.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a good feeling.
That is a
That's
really
gotta be
good
one of the
feeling.
best parts about playing music.
I
Is when
agree.
things like that happen.
That's the good part about being in a band versus being a solo artist too, is that if you don't know what to do with the song, and like in your instance, when you bring it to your bandmate and they know exactly what to do, and it's like, I didn't even know that this song needed that until you played it, and now I know what to do with it.
And I wouldn't have.
I feel like everybody, and this is how I describe it, everybody can come up with about 5 good different endings, but you might come up with something. Everybody has about 5 ways they could end a song. And you might cross Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like Michael, obviously Michael. David or Davidson.
Davis.
Davis.
Or Dave.
Dave, yeah, Dave's fun.
So yeah, Dave here might have 5. Yeah, it's legitimately, you might have 5 different, or yeah,
Yeah.
5.
No, that's fine,
You know what? I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, when we were writing the ending of our song Ruby, our old guitarist Mason was still with us, and I remember being in his apartment, and it's like you, Jeremy, Mason, and myself, we were just trying to figure out what it could be, and we were like, okay, well, what if we did this? And then we played it, and we were like, what if we did like a back and forth sort of thing, like you did a part and then you did a part, and we just did all these different like quick iterations of what it could be until we like got the one.
Yeah.
And so I love that little back and forth collab
Yeah.
from all of us.
Yeah. I remember when the first time we played the final version of that ending, Ford Upshur, who used to be
Our lead
our lead guitarist in the band, he was at that practice too. The first time we played what would be the final ending to Ruby, we stopped it, and Ford, he's kind of a stoic guy,
Very.
but then I saw like a smile on his face. He said, I think that's the best iteration of that. Yeah, and we're like, all right, Ford approves, we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
That's how
Yeah.
you know sometimes. Just like,
Yeah.
It's when the quiet one says something.
yeah. It struck somebody in some kind of way. Let's go with it.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then sometimes there will be a thing like with the song with your punk riff from a while ago that we were talking about. Bleeding out. That drum beat I came up with at the beginning. I've never thought about that drum beat until you played that riff, and then I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this happened. You know, it's like something. It's like almost not even me doing it, and I play the beat, and it's like, oh, that's it.
It's the
And that came from the sky. That beat came from the sky. It wasn't, didn't come
The
from
outro of that song,
just because I heard that riff, I wouldn't have come up with.
there weren't.
Anyway.
I was just gonna say for the outro, there weren't like several iterations. I just like half seriously said like, what if we just threw in like a new metal breakdown? And Kyle just kind of banged out this riff, and I was like, let's try that. And then we tried it, and we went with that. So yeah, sometimes it just happens.
Right on. Yeah.
Which is cool.
It's just magic.
Yeah.
Musical magic.
And you wouldn't have thought of that part unless it was like for what you were talking about with Divorced Dad Vibes, you know, listening to a song. I wouldn't have come up with that bass line had it not been for a track that I didn't create, you know, I didn't make, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it just comes out of you.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be that song in order to make the part that you're bringing to the table.
Right.
Absolutely.
If it was,
Yeah.
if the environment, if the circumstances were any different, it could be a completely different song. Like it could be something that's if it was like earlier in the day, for whatever reason, it could have been a completely
Yeah,
different
right.
song. But it's
Yeah.
just like that moment happened and it turned out to be.
Yeah, and I
Like
feel
I
like
said, there's magic.
Music is magic.
I feel like with this group of musicians as Parotia right now also, there are things that like I wouldn't have made or brought to the old members because we are a heavier like sounding group now. So anytime I come up with some like little like heavy, you know, banger, it's like, all right, these two, they got it. They know.
We have a group chat with all the former members and current members, and
Yeah.
Oh, that has to be an interesting group.
oh, it's great.
And they're all gonna come to our show in 2 weeks, all the old members.
Wow.
So that's really sweet.
They'll say sometimes like, I can't believe like that's a Parotia song, like with some of our newer music.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way, just like in a
No, it's just like, wow.
like a wow, we would have never wrote that
Yeah.
back in
Yeah.
chapter 2.
Tell them what Will said about aerials.
Oh yeah, so at the like end of summer, I guess we were looking for some covers to play because we didn't have a full set of originals at the time, and we decided on Aerials by System of a Down, and so we sent that into the group chat, and one of the first bassists, right, for Parotia was like, "Y'all are covering System of a Down." Like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
But then he
That was
also
really
covered like we covered a Muse song, like Hysteria, back then when we were like a softer, like indie band, and they were
Even
like,
then, that
"Y'all
was-
covered Hysteria?"
Yeah, even then, that was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
We
we're
played
having.
at the Blacksburg Farmers Market, and they're like, "Can you guys turn down?" It was silly.
Love it when the venue asks you to turn down.
You're
Yeah.
doing
it's
something right.
Yeah, the first gig I played with Parotia was interesting.
Oh my god.
Because you,
I was in the process of moving.
it was
again.
chaotic.
Oh.
And their old drummer was busy, and they just sent me like a playlist of songs and were like, can you play drums for us at this gig? And I said yes, because I wasn't in a band
And it was like
I
a
wanted to
week.
play a live show so bad. Yeah, it was a week, and I practiced with everyone except for like Kiara.
Yeah.
And we went on stage and we were doing like sound check, and I don't think she knew how loud of a drummer I was at the time.
I did not.
And you came up to me and was like, "Hey, they're asking you to turn down." I was like,
Can you
"I
play
can't."
quieter?
I was like, "I can't go." I was like, "Okay."
Because there's no volume knob on a drum.
And the rest is history. We're coming out with a new piece.
Yeah, Parotia. Yeah.
Well,
Makes you wonder sometimes, like it's a farmer's market, like why would it, you feel like they would look up the band before they invited you if like, it seemed like you guys were gonna be loud.
It was like a Halloween set, so we were trying to add some like, you know, creepy songs in the mix, and that was like, I think we covered Black Sheep by Metric a lot, which is also a little bit on the slight
Rocky.
Yeah, rocky, but nothing compared to what we're doing now.
Yeah, we played at an art gallery in August, and I was
is it XYZ?
Yeah.
That was a
that was a fun show. But leading up to it, we were like, do they know what we play? Like, we're bringing like rocks, like punk songs, rock songs, and like I said, System
We're
of a
not
Down.
background music.
to an art
Yeah.
gallery. So we're like,
We had to like ask them like,
Yeah, we said,
what are
"You
you
sure
looking
you
for?
want
Do you want
us?"
like a performance or like are people gonna just be in a gallery looking at art? Wow.
And they said performance.
Yeah, and so it was us and the
Right,
band
okay.
Mister,
Yeah.
and it was awesome.
It was great, yeah.
awesome.
It was-
Now they
it
do
was
shows
small.
like every other week.
Insane. It was like I felt like people were moshing in the gallery.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen anything
Kyle
like it.
Buddy.
Moshing in the gallery.
Yeah.
Someone like took their
It was a good
shirt
time.
off, and I had a Sharpie on me, so I got to like sign their chest, and that was really fun.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, one of Kyle's friends.
of course, that's funny.
Yeah, I was in this shirt too, actually. Yeah.
What do you know?
I know, full circle. Crazy. Like, real shit.
Moshing in the gallery.
That
Yeah.
happens a lot actually. Like with Spotify being so much different than we are now, people would come to us for gigs and we're like, wait a minute, like we don't know how we sound now. Like we've been invited to like maybe do like the military ball at Virginia Tech with the Corps of Cadets, and
Play System of a Down for the military.
Yeah.
No, and this is someone that I know who has seen us play before, who's in the Corps of Cadets, and I was like, you remember how we sounded, right? Like, we're punk rock. We covered Breathe by Nirvana and System of a Down. She's like, yeah, we want you at the military ball, which is always great.
Yeah.
You know, when people know what we're about.
All just sounds so regal, you know?
Yeah.
And we're like the dirty
We're just some fucking long hairs.
Yeah. With our ripped jeans and wife beater tanks.
Yeah. Long hairs.
Yeah. Sweaty, stinky.
Yeah, that's us, guys.
Ugly. Poor.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You guys ever seen Spinal Tap?
You like, or someone like Spinal Tap. I think it's Gage. Yeah.
There is they were invited on to there. You're talking about the military ball. They were invited onto the. It's a mockumentary about a band that is from England, and it's like, oh, we made our 14th album, but they're touring they're a British band touring the U.S. And they were invited to play a military base, and they said, "Oh, we love rock and roll." And they go in there. It's a formal ball, like we're saying, just like it's like, okay, well, the first song is called "Sex Farm," and it's just like, we're getting on the sex farm. And you have like these generals, like these 4-star generals, just like looking like it's. If you have not watched that movie, Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap. Highly recommend it. It's one of my
It
favorites.
kind of highlights the absurdity of bands. Like, there is an element of absurdity in it.
Always.
You can't laugh at the process.
Sometimes it's awkward. Some performances are awkward.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
So for Parotia, will there be a Christmas single? No.
Yes.
Oh man.
It's always been my dream since about 5th grade to cover All I Want for Christmas Is You, but we don't have any shows around Christmas.
That's the one downside of playing in a college town is the audiences are great, but
No one's
like
here.
over summer no one's here,
Yeah.
winter break no one's here, even like fall break, Thanksgiving, just breaks.
It's a balance because it's really like densely populated, and then it's really, really not, and then it is, and then it's not.
It goes Lucy the Spy. We were trying to get a show right before school bled out, and we're like, and then it didn't materialize, and we're like, so, we'll just wait until, I guess, summer,
3 months, now.
Yeah.
So where are you guys from? Like, were you all from Southwest Virginia area, or have you come from?
Everyone's from Virginia.
Yeah. I'm from Virginia Beach.
Okay.
And my family moved to Danville, Virginia when I was 10. So.
Okay.
I've lived in Danville, Virginia my whole life, except until I moved to Blacksburg for college, so we were high school friends.
And then Kyle is from Nova, and then I don't know where Nova, and Gage is, I think, from Southwest VA.
Danville is like almost North Carolina, right? Yeah.
You know the Tank Museum?
Yeah, we gotta take me to, we've got a casino going up.
Right. Okay.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah, casinos there, yeah.
Looking large in the world.
Let's go, Danville.
All the low lights of town.
It's like a $500 million investment.
It's
Like,
being built like right across the police station.
And essentially when I was like, it's in Danville?
Yeah.
I remember being in high school and being excited when we got a Zaxby's. And now they're getting a casino. Yeah, now they're getting a casino.
Moving up in the world. Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy.
What is the band's plan for, I guess, the next year? A year that's a good stretch of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that's like kind of up in the air because two someones will be graduating. I could stay in the area, I could leave. Jeremy could stay in the area, I could leave. We're kind of still
There's a lot
looking
we
short
need to
term.
talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about that, but there's a lot we're focusing on right now that hasn't allowed us to.
Yeah, to think about like, what's gonna happen when the next person leaves?
Well,
because
it's just kind of cross that bridge when we get there.
Chapter 6, yeah, for real. It's nothing we haven't done 5 times before
Yeah,
already.
like Davis just said, like we're probably just we just kind of cross bridges when we get there.
Yeah, so right now we're hyper focused on the EP, like we've been talking about, and now we're starting to gig again. Finally, it's been a long month without gigs, so but
And also, I think we just focus on playing the best music that we can, day to day, recording the set. I don't want to speak for everybody,
Yeah,
but that kind of feels like the vibe. It's
No,
just-
we definitely are looking at like the projects and tasks right in front of us, and
not to be a hippie.
no,
Be like, live in the present, man.
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that though.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Sha la 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 la, live for today.
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah. If you see a post on our Instagrams like, hey, auditions for whatever
Right.
part,
We're just going to keep playing music until we...
until someone gets
Until
famous,
something
and
we're not-
then we
until we're
become better
falling, yeah.
musicians.
Or, yeah, until we're not playing music together, or until
Yeah.
we are famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I mean,
I want music to pay my bills.
I know, man.
That's all.
that's the dream. That's
Yeah.
the dream.
I would like to tour one of these days.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
But I would also hate it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I would
You
get
can
sick.
do it. It's a lot of emails.
Right.
Oh god, and I hate
Yeah.
A
email.
lot of sending the same thing over and over again to the same venue, being like, hey, please look at this email.
Please look at this.
Yeah.
And it's really hard when you don't have something easily accessible to listen to. To be
Right.
like, hi, this is what we sound like. We're just this indie punk whatever band from
What,
this.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, like, here's a picture of us. But
Here's our Instagram. We have a few grainy live videos.
yeah, it's not great. But
It's tough. It seems like no one cares about just
it's
bands outside
hard.
of their town that aren't famous.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Rich. I've been struggling to get a gig in Richmond.
Right.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
we've reached out to Richmond, yeah.
It is one of
And someone
the.
messaged back, and they have this whole process you have to go through to
Oh,
apply to like play there.
Yeah, we're playing the 19th.
Garden Grove Brewing.
Yeah.
Oh,
In Richmond.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Congrats! That's huge.
Yeah, it took. Good lord.
Yeah.
So many emails.
Yeah.
So many. But
Yeah.
So
And then-
is it just it's saturated there? There's just so many people that are.
That's
I didn't know
what
about
I've
it.
heard.
Yeah, I mean, I only know because I love Lucy Dacus, who's from Richmond,
Mm-hmm.
but the Richmond scene is full of, from what she said, it's a bunch of musicians who are just doing music. They don't care about making it big or whatever. They're just, yeah, it's a really cool like scene there.
Sounds like DC in the 90s or 80s.
Yeah, and DC is a huge scene too, but because they have so many big venues, I think it's harder for these like smaller bands to
Yeah.
get in there.
It's bigger and the music scene's really good. So like, it is like the
Very competitive.
career bands that are coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're good enough, you get to open for someone cool.
Yeah.
So
If you're good enough and you write enough emails.
We opened for the Mammoths, and
yeah,
they're pretty big. I mean, they're decently big. They tour.
Yeah.
They play jam in the band. And we opened for them because one of the members went to Virginia Tech. I forgot to mention earlier Bone Machine.
I was thinking that, but now they're like out of Richmond. But they.
Oh,
were
I thought they
from-
were. You mean out of Richmond? Mean they're based in Richmond?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, not out of, but they are coming from.
They were
yes.
kicked out.
They kicked out of Richmond. They were just too good.
So they're from Blacksburg. They
Yeah.
all went to Tech, and now they're in Richmond joining that scene.
yeah.
And they're really cool. They're real punk.
They're
Yeah,
fucking
they're cool.
awesome.
They're the real deal.
Yeah. And they're named Bone Machine. You know.
Yeah.
That's-
But I'm hoping with the growing music scene in Blacksburg that like more businesses will realize like, hey, this is an easy way to make money. Like all we gotta do is provide the space. Like a band just played at Top of the Stairs.
Yeah.
Have they had shows before? I've never heard of them.
Rarely.
That's a pretty
Rarely.
popular bar.
They
Yeah,
have.
that's like
In
the
Blacksburg.
bar, like the college bar.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
not like a music venue, and we were like surprised that they had live music, and so
It was like
hopefully
a
this
full,
will
like
pick up.
5 or 6 piece band.
And then with X,
Is that right? You got the milk parlor, and then is it no? That's,
Yeah, it's like down the block from
Okay.
the milk parlor.
Yeah.
Right above bottom of the stairs.
it's like
what? There's a bottom of the stairs.
it's like
right on top of the stairs.
it's an outdoor bar, and it's called Top of the Stairs because the bar itself is a deck on like a second floor.
Stills. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then with XYZ, I think it's kind of growing because XYZ Art Gallery, it's an art gallery, and like I'd never even
Yeah.
heard of it, and then all of a sudden they were
But
like,
it's a really cool fusion between,
we were like, they were,
you know.
yeah, and they were like, Parotia, do you want to play here? And we were like, sure. And then all of a sudden they have like a gig every weekend. Like,
Yeah.
The Stray Lions first gig, which was just at the time, it was just me and an acoustic guitar. That was at XYZ with my buddies. Saving Thoreau. No, he was going by Armor. No, it was Saving Thoreau, but it was only one of the members wasn't there, so it was like, oh well, change our name.
What?
For this show, I was like,
like last minute.
yes, but
So that was
now
Lucy the
it's-
Spy?
That was Lucy the Spy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Lucy the
What became Lucy?
what became Lucy the Spy.
Yeah.
Played a gig there, and so they were called Saving Thoreau, but they played a few gigs there. Cool. It was
Thoreau
to
was
see.
in like author.
yes,
Cool.
yeah, and that was Wes's first band, or Wes's first band, and Jason fifth or anyways.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a lot of house shows, and the venues slowly are starting to come around.
Places are turning
It's looking
into
that way.
music venues,
Yeah, it's
kind
Looking
of.
that way. And that's what needs to happen. There's so many bands.
Oh, there's so much
many
good
good
music.
bands. So much good music in Blacksburg again.
And there's like,
They
you
just need
know,
a spotlight.
there's
Yeah.
like some breweries, and we've played at one of the good breweries around, but this past year when we tried reaching out, they're like, no, we don't really want that vibe when we've played there like twice before, and there's just a massive crowd of, you know, not their typical like customers, but
Breweries
people are gonna buy beers and food.
Yeah.
breweries are good money though.
I know!
And not only is there a lot of good music happening, but people show up in Blacksburg. Like,
Oh, yeah.
every band gets an audience. People love music in
Yeah.
That's the thing about that's the thing about the Roanoke scene. That essentially it's just like, oh, okay, you might have people who show up. It depends on
Right.
It
You
could
might
be.
not.
Yeah,
You might not. Like
I've heard that it's a big, like older crowd, like a lot of dads, a lot of
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you'd think it'd be the opposite with Blacksburg and Roanoke.
Yeah,
Because
right.
Roanoke's a bigger city, but
yeah.
Blacksburg is the place to play music, I think, in Southwest Virginia right now.
Yeah.
If you could take the population of Blacksburg and just put them in Roanoke, then there would
Yeah.
probably be more venues.
Yeah, the demographic of younger people too.
Yeah, right. And
The
that's
youths.
because there's like Roanoke College, but it's
needs
not
to
the
expand
same.
or
It
something.
doesn't really have
And
that.
then college needs to get bigger.
Yeah.
More artsy. They need to get more
It's
artsy.
not. It's not like a. It's not
Or
arts.
even Radford, because they're partially like a music and like art school, so they have a bunch of people who love music. And
Yeah, Radford has
they
a scene.
always- Yeah.
And Radford and Blacksburg kind of. Yeah.
Mingle.
It's not clash. They mesh.
Battle of the college towns.
That's right. No, yeah, people go to Radford from Blacksburg and vice versa for shows because it's not that far. And
Yeah.
it's the same
Battle
vibe.
of the Togas. So when is so you have when are your upcoming gigs? Or you have one in
Roanoke this
Roanoke
weekend.
this weekend?
Flying
Yeah,
Panther
so the
Skate
next
Shop. So that's October 29th.
3 Saturdays. We have October 29th at the Flying Panther, November 5th at the Spot on Kirk, and then November 12th at the Milk Parlor. There's going to be a battle of the bands, actually.
And then we have another.
It's like a charity fundraiser.
And what?
We have another remote parlor at the end of the month.
Oh yeah, the 28th. You guys busy on the 28th? You want to do a show? Potentially? I feel like we owe this to you guys.
Yeah, maybe.
No, wait,
I think we're still, if we're allowed to put it
Let me.
Well, Gaptooth is already playing with us.
Yeah, we can.
If we buy them,
Let
we
me-
can't buy anybody else.
It's but we will talk.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I remembered we had that. I was like, we gotta find another band. Let's do that.
November
Yeah.
28th.
Well, Parotia.
Parotia.
We have merch coming out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, go to our Instagram. We have beanies.
Yeah,
We have nice little black beanies,
Nice little
hot
pink
pink beanies. We've got
Nice.
stickers.
Oh, I think I saw something. I saw something today. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, they're coming out with merch. Awesome.
Finally.
I just wanted to squeeze that in there right before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get some merch from Parotia.
Yeah. Parotia. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you for doing this. All right. Well.
you for suing.
2, 3, 4.
knocks on my door, and he said, "Son, our trash can fell over. Come help me pick up the trash." I said, "Okay." So we're walking the